Daylight, ayy, where you at, where you at? Drop a pin, send the addy, yeah, I'm somewhere in a bag. Okay, daylight. What's going on, goals and gains, gang? You already know it's the goon, the monster. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is Top Goals, your fave corporatepreneur. Shout out to Trap Art Clothing. For my beanie, I'm having a bad hair day a little bit because I went swimming over Memorial Day weekend. So shout out to them. So I'm just gonna be rocking this episode. And I'll make sure I'll link their page in case you think this is super cute like I did and want to get one. It's a ski mask. So of course, again, Top Goals, your fave corporatepreneur. I'm back with another episode of Somewhere in a Bag. And of course, I got a special guest today. We have the lovely Amber Mitchell from Berry Chic. And we're going to be talking to her about her new up-and-coming pop-up series in the Raleigh area. So as you know, I'm a Black Queen City partner. We actually met at a Black Queen City pop-up shop. And of course, you know, we love to spread the love. So we're going to talk to her today about her pop-up series, as well as her business of custom desserts. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and join her to the stream. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back. You know what? I'm so glad you reacted. Again, I was just telling Amber that this is episode 4 of the official podcast. If y'all are OGs and y'all rock with me back when I started this series simply on my YouTube channel, I was telling her that, you know, I'm still trying to figure things out, and I saw her reacting. I hadn't brought her into the room yet, but I didn't realize that you could hear me still. So that's good.
Yes.
That's good to know. Yeah, so we're on episode 4. I also was telling her, just in case you guys don't know, this video is going to be available on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And then you can also check out the audio on basically anywhere you listen to a podcast. So, but without further ado, I already kind of hyped her up a little bit, but Amber, I'll give you a few minutes. Tell us a little bit about you and really what inspired you. Let's start with the basis, because I know the pop-up series is your newer baby. So let's start with your custom dessert business. What got you started?
Oh, sure. So, sure, as our culture, very young age, we're not taught to cook, we're forced. It's a job. So I am being a younger kid, or being the youngest out of my family. The easiest thing to do is to bake, so you can't burn yourself. You can't. It's not too many mistakes that can go wrong. So having a kid mix things or having to participate. So that's what I started out doing, with like mixing banana pudding, and my family be hyping me up. Oh my God, girl, that's so good.
As
like,
they
really?
should. As they should.
Right, you believe it. You go on with your life. So and then it became my responsibility to do desserts at like our family functions and things like that. But I've never been confident to do anything for anyone, as in outside of my family, because you know how your family lie to you. They lie real quick just to soften your ego. So actually, Facebook got me started. I was just a person, and my friend's sister was graduating, and I had a cousin that was graduating as well. So luckily, they lived down the street from each other. And I wanted to give them a gift that they can actually use, because I wasn't sure of what these kids' endeavors were. Because now kids, they have an option. They don't have a forceful to go to college. So I wasn't sure whether they're going to college or not, because I wasn't giving them no money. I wasn't giving cash. I was like, I don't know where you about to go. You could be getting lashes, nails. I don't know. And they were both girls. So I came up with this really bright idea. I said, "Ooh, I'm gonna dip some strawberries and call it a day." So I dipped 4 strawberries for each child, put it on Facebook, and then it blew up. It actually people were offering for money, and I said, you know what? What's a good price? $20. So I started doing $20 dozens, and then my phone it got wild. Then the more people started to order, and then from there, I'm actually from Robinson County, which is a really big sense of Native Americans. So since I went to business school and I knew I wanted to bake for real, but I didn't have the confidence to put myself out there. So what I did was I picked a target audience, made sure that there's something that they will like or something that they will buy. And so what I did was
Y'all
I
taking notes? Y'all taking notes?
so what I did was this was an experiment. This was during the summertime. We have a festival, and it's called Lumbee Homecoming. And if you don't know what Lumbee Homecoming is, it's like a pop up, but it's not called a pop up. It's just simply homecoming, and that's when they have vendors and things like that selling their stuff. But there's also like hundreds of people out there celebrating Native American. I said, "Oh, I got me a target audience." So what I did, I went online, Facebook. I went to Facebook Market, and then I went online to see if I could put images on strawberries, and I looked to see how it would work because I've never seen it done before. And I know other people have done it, but people in our industry, they don't share. So I had to figure out the candy, how to make it stick, how to make the edible image stick. I went to Etsy, and then I went and I saw what's called a sugar sheet. So I researched what a sugar sheet was, and a sugar sheet is one of those things, those pictures that you get from Walmart for your cake and stuff.
Mhm.
That technology can go on to anything that's sweet and solid. So come to find out that I could put edible images on strawberries. Oh baby, we were winning then. So I put some dream catchers. I put the logo on there. I put on the strawberry. I had a 1.5 inch, and it was the logo of their tribe. Now that went wild. My
Wow.
phone blew up. I'm
Okay.
talking about, like, I went viral in my sense because it was more than one person who wanted my product, and that gave me the sense of confidence of outside people that really supported me. That was not my family. I didn't know these folks, even though we lived down the street, in that area of Robinson County. These are people that I have never even knew existed because they believed in my product. And I only started dipping strawberries for like a couple of weeks. So then now I look back at my work and cringe. I cringe. So I was so happy that looking back at it, people really did took a chance on me. So then I got more happier. I actually went out and started doing Oreos. So
Okay.
then on that, I start putting the Native American stuff on Oreos, and I made platters. I had all kinds of stuff. Like I kept up in the price, so like people not up in the price, but more things that people can buy instead of just 12 strawberries. So I added like little pretzels to the mix. It was sweet. So
So,
um, oh, what we saying?
oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Oh
cut you.
yeah, yeah. So I started with the strawberries, and then I started selling to. I had more confidence to sell to my family and friends because those are the people that will tell you the truth or if it's good or if it's not. So I put it on Facebook, like my actual personal Facebook. But in between that time frame of me selling and making business, this is when I started making money. When you're a business, you have to actually start, tracking and writing down what you have. No pen and paper. I'm talking about like digitally. So then I came up with the name. So I went out for a walk. I had no money. I'm talking about nothing because I was like working retail. And when you work retail and you young in your 20s, them pennies don't add up. And especially to what you think that you working part time. Part time work is a scam. So I had no money and I was actually commuting to work. So I'm living in this town called Red Springs, North Carolina, and I would drive to Fayetteville for work. And that's another story in itself because I was dedicated. I was not trying to stay in no Red Springs the rest of my life. I don't care what the job was.
I
So
know.
right.
Yeah, I'm from Fayetteville. I'm
Oh
familiar.
shoot.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the
Oh
area, so I completely understand. Even if nobody else is watching, I'm picking up what you're
yeah.
putting down. I
Yeah,
understand.
so I commuted and I was spending most of my money on gas, food, and like uniform stuff. After when it was done, I had nothing to really show for that I had a job. So I actually went out for a walk and I said, God, if this is for me, show me that this is for me. I need a obvious sign. Give me a name and give me a way. That's all I asked for. So I went out for a walk, um, just just to clear my mind, thinking that I was gonna get my sign later. You will never believe where I found my sign at. So I was just walking, and we have a private school in Red Springs as well, and the school name is like Flora McDonald. So you either went to public school, you went to or you went to private. So the private school is really really nice. They have a park, they got a lake, they got all kinds of scenery. So I wanted to go there just to just to go because it's a really beautiful place. Even though we're in a bad city, but it's the most beautiful place I can ever imagine in Red Springs. So I go there, and you will never believe what I found. I saw money in the ground. Money is the same color as grass. So I looked. I said, God, is that money? I ran like I was like in public. I ran like sprinted to the tree, and I thought it was like $5. I peeled the money back 20, 20, 20. I
Mm,
said, Lord,
okay. God gave you a business loan.
no, no, he gave me a grant. He granted my
Right.
wish. He
Or a grant.
granted me.
You're right, you're right.
Right. He granted me what I asked for. And then on my way back, I came up with the name Berry Chic because what I do is very chic. So I said, oh, so I
Bingo.
ran, right. So I ran back home the next day when it was time for me to go back to work. I went to the ATM. There, where I am, you can't even insert money into the ATM. That's how I guess poverty. I want to say poverty. I'll just call it that. That's how the resources that we don't have. Even though I had the cash, there was no way for me to use it online, especially in that time frame that I needed. So, like the next day when it was time for me to go to work, I slipped that money in, and I had start buying supplies to better myself. So I started buying edible glitter, and so the edible glitter set it off. Boy, I got more orders and more clientele and more people. So I started serving my community that way. So then I never felt comfortable with my cakes, like never, ever, 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 ever. So I got another job in Fayetteville. So I started working at FSU. That was even
I'll go
further.
cry.
Right. Graduate there, work there. So that was further. If you guys know where FSU is, that's close to on the other side of Fayetteville, Merchants Road. I'm from Red Springs. That's a whole hour. So I said, God, when is it gonna lighten? When is it gonna lighten up? When is my load gonna be lifted? So I worked there, and so actually this is another, I guess God is just carrying me everywhere I go. So I start working there, and I started working in a processing room for admissions. And so I didn't see people, I didn't see nobody, no students, nobody, anyone. I would never come across anyone except like on my lunch or something. But if I come across someone, I'm not talking, I'm not doing nothing to you, I'm going to eat and come back. So or I eat at my desk. But the front desk lady, she I guess she had other endeavors. So then they were like, Amber, you want to get to the front? I said, hell no, I don't want to go to the front. No front desk. But that helped me out so much. Even though I don't talk about my business, people knew me from online. So then they started flocking to my job, asking for cake. I said, I didn't even say I don't do cake because I feel like you say no, then you can put a limitation on your talent. And they were like, hey, can you do that strawberry crunch cake? I said, yeah, sure. Okay. I do that. So I started taking orders from the students, not from the students, but anyone who came across, because they were already familiar with my work because it spread it like that online. So then from there it just, it grown from me making strawberries and like basic cakes like strawberry crunch, Oreo crunch. Then I started to work in on personalized cakes because some they believed in me. They people saw my track record and they're like, oh, can you do that too? Even though deep down inside it was a hell no. It was a no. I don't know nothing. I don't know how to do anything. But we have YouTube and we have resources. So
We have YouTube.
right,
We have
right.
resources. Yeah.
YouTube you. If you don't look it up, then I no. But yes, even though people won't tell you how to do things like bake-wise, there still are resources online. So I started building that way. So then years later, I finally had enough money to move to Fayetteville. Even though it sounds weird, I'm moving to Fayetteville. But at that time frame, moving to Fayetteville was a really, really big step up. So I continued to use the marketplace, and I kept my customers' clientele from Red Springs. They will commute, or either I commute there, and I had to start building clientele in Fayetteville. So it became the not say the best, but that's how I started to grow was on Facebook Market. I know it sounds weird, but Facebook Marketplace is a really, really good place to start out. But now on the marketplace, I'm not getting as much attention as it was back then. But now, I guess because of the oversaturation.
Mhm.
But yeah, it actually got me where I needed to be. So from then on, I started following other people who do what I do. And believe it or not, I think I was in business for like 2 to 3 years at the moment. I didn't follow anyone who did what I did. It's not that I was jealous or anything. I just didn't know that that was something that other people did. So I started following other people who did what I did. And these folks are like YouTubers. They're rich, living in these high rise condos, making these $200, $300 cakes, like one per week or how many per week, and living life. And so I actually got in contact with a self-taught baker on Instagram, and they had room to interview people or interview their work. And so I was like, wow, criticism. Do I need it? So I guess all criticism, not all criticism is good, but constructive criticism is what I was searching for. And so then for I had, stepped into the moment of like, all right, am I good or not? So I reached out to somebody online that wasn't there for money. They were actually really genuine, caring about, cake decorating and things like that. So it was really sweet to talk to someone who who actually mirrored what I did, but on a professional looking level as I did. And they gave me really, really good, solid advice and what I need to work on, things like that. I mean, it hurt because she really did she told me down. I was like, damn, damn. But the way that she explained it, she said, if you show a picture of someone who is cake experience versus someone who isn't, they won't be able to tell the difference. And I was like, oh, you're right. You're right. So I started to I guess I was searching, like niching around to see what will work, and then I'm starting like to niche back down now to actually just get to a better place, like getting the buttercream to be smooth, getting the cakes to be stacked correctly, and things like that. So doing all these cakes, yeah, it's cool, but the fundamentals are is what you're searching for as well. So that's where I am now. And then to make the move from Fayetteville to here, um, I got not recognized, but usually when people come pick up, I ask them where they're from. I'm like, hey, where are you from? Where did you find me? And one lady said Raleigh. I said, you drove from Raleigh to Fayetteville to come pick up a cake? Are you crazy? Do you know how many people that you pass? So therefore, I said, oh, I'm special. I need to move.
Right, but wait, real quick though, did they come with like a refrigerator or something? Because cakes are they're finicky. You know what I mean? Like, how did you
Right, they
safely
are.
transport safely?
So, I actually just give them the information. So cakes, if you do them properly, they can actually be just as strong. So you have to build them so that they are able to commute. But I have seen too many horror stories where they take the cake out the hand and it's over. But yeah, you have to, by the time that you refrigerate it at a certain point and they take it to where they have to go straight to the destination, the out of direct sunlight. It needs to be in the car, in a seatbelt, not in the trunk. There's like rules and regulations. You can transport a cake safely, but you just have to do it in a safe mode. But yeah, by the time that you get to your destination within an hour, it's gonna make it. You can make it. But
Okay, so you might have saw me typing over here,
oh
just
no,
because
you're good.
just because you dropped so many jewels. I wanted to make sure we all caught them right. So I'm about to
Oh
recap.
yeah.
I'm gonna recap everything I took from, you know, the journey that you took us through from start to now. So
Yeah.
first and foremost, something important you said, and this is for my audience members, specifically anyone who currently has a business that's just getting started, or maybe you haven't started yet. What we took away today was that um, we found a target audience. Um,
Mhm.
we found a niche, and
Oh
then
yeah.
more specifically we found something that was missing within that niche. So specifically,
Mhm.
she found something that was not being done, and worked on becoming the best at it. So she tested the market. She sought critiques from family and friends. From that point, she had her starting point, and then she diversified by adding more products, continue to improve and scale her business. One notable comment you said was that you look back at your work and cringe. And I
All the
think
time.
that's absolutely amazing. I
Oh
don't want
yeah.
anybody to ever look back on their work and it's the same. So you still have a noticeable difference between then and
Yes.
now. And so there's always, sometimes we don't have money, and I don't know, um maybe Amber, you're just special and super special, and not God or whomever you believe in, the cosmic universe or whomever, may not always help you in the form of some money on the ground, but
Mhm.
always positive forces as long as you continue to manifest and set positive energy, positive intentions.
Oh
Whatever
yeah.
whatever you're seeking will come to you. So whenever there's no money, there's always a way. So
Oh
just
yeah.
being positive. We also heard that you are a proud member of YouTube University, as am I. Um, I am a fan of telling people, well, in my particular industry, with me doing content creation and brand consulting, um,
Mhm.
I will a lot of times say, yeah, I can do that confidently. I've never done it before, but I got you. I'll be 100% honest, and I'll be like, look, I promise you I'll get it done, and
Mhm.
we can work something out. Maybe I might do it on a discounted, or even sometimes just off the strength. I might do
Mhm.
it for, like, like just like a sample. Like, hey, if I do a great job on this, tell a friend to tell a friend. And
Mhm.
so I am a proud member of YouTube University as well. You mentioned FB Marketplace, so I do agree that it is oversaturated, but
Mhm.
that's the importance of, as a business owner, you got to keep your eye out on the landscape of social media, because
Mhm.
you can literally capitalize off of, if you have the right ear to the ground. Imagine if somebody put a bug in your ear, what's it been, like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago,
Mhm.
on TikTok, when
Oh
everybody
yeah.
was laughing at TikTok, but TikTok is making people millionaires right now, especially business owners.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so you want to keep your eye on the ground as far as social media. Your eye on the ground, your ear on the ground. Y'all know what I meant.
I knew.
Let me see. Follow other people who do what you do. Find
Yeah.
community. So you did. I'm glad you kind of circle back on that, because I know initially you mentioned that people in our industry don't share, don't like to share, and
No.
that could be that could be said amongst many industries, but just as many people that are kind of stingy and closed fists that you can find out there in the industry, there are also people equally the
Giving.
opposite.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm glad you were able to find someone that could essentially mentor you and kind of give you that positive and those positive feedback, but also the opportunity areas. And then so you
Mhm.
recognize those, you put them in, you improve them, and like you said, you
Mhm.
focused on fundamentals and rinse repeat. So pretty much in Amber's journey from start to where she is now, she
Mhm.
definitely gave us a blueprint on what you can do in order to scale your existing business. What, even if you don't make cakes, I feel like a lot of these takeaways are applicable to whatever industry that you might be in.
For
So
sure.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing. We really
Oh
appreciate
yeah. For sure. For sure.
it. So really quick, I know we're coming up at well, there's really no time here, but
Mhm.
um but I know we spoke mostly on your custom dessert business. Now if you want to
Right.
switch gears again
Oh yeah. That's true. That's true. We can do that.
to your
So here,
Mhm.
right. So here, I moved to Fayetteville. Moved to Cary, but I got a serious job too. I don't be relying on just one income, so I have to like work just like regular people. So
Hmm.
I do work. I actually applied for a job in Raleigh, but I've been applying for jobs up here since like 2018. I know it sounds like a long time ago, but it really, really wasn't. So these people be, I'm talking about salaries. They be holding on to these applications until they need them. So what happened was the pandemic happened, of course, and then the job that I was working for is a state job, and they needed folk. And they called me. I said hello, and I said, wait a minute. I applied for this job damn near 2 years ago. What are you
Mhm.
calling me for?
Mhm.
I don't work by so many other places. So I took it, and I said, here I am again, God. I said, God, if I commute from Fayetteville to Raleigh, and if anyone doesn't know, they had just built a highway because I was living on what's called Raleigh Road, and from Raleigh there's a highway because Fort Bragg is there. There's like a expressway, so it takes under an hour to get to Raleigh. They took about 3 years to make this highway. I didn't know I needed it. So they called me up and they were like, hey, you want the job? I was like, sure. I didn't tell them I lived in Fayetteville. I was like, yeah, I want it. Sure. So I took the chance. I said, God, if I if I stay at this job, whatever is on the other end, I deserve it. I deserve it. I'm gonna keep my head up. I'm gonna drive every day, even though it sounds like a lot, but people do it 1 hour there and 1 hour back. But I was just one of those mean people in the office. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't do nothing because I have to go home immediately after 5 o'clock. I'm out the door. So it didn't even take a year to go digital. So we were there, and the virus got so bad where they were like, you everybody got to go home. You must leave the office. So I had to take my big old desktop and truck it back home. And that was like the biggest blessing I've ever received because I was trying to hustle the office with desserts, but I didn't even get a chance. So so I go back home, and then my apartment burns. So not my whole apartment, but the apartment complex had burned. So I was out of a place to stay, well, in Fayetteville. So took my stuff out of the apartment, and I had to move back to Red Springs. So after all of this, just trucking and bucking and trying to get to another city or trying to get to where I want to go, I actually suffered a setback. So staying at home, my mom wasn't bad, but it wasn't delightful. But it was just a change of gears. So the people that I was serving to in Red Springs, it was like I just picked up where I left off. It wasn't hard to do what I needed to do. So, but the only thing is, I just had to buy a separate refrigerator because my mom wasn't having it. She wasn't having no baking stuff in her refrigerator. So I had to like go out and get equipment for just for that. So I kept my stuff in storage because I knew that I wanted to move to Raleigh or move to this area one day. So that was just the cheapest. That was the fastest thing I could do, just to serve myself at the time. So I only stayed in Red Springs for like 6 months, just to look. And this was before the housing market got bad. So this was during the pandemic, getting a place. I got the place. I moved to Raleigh. I moved to Cary because Raleigh was just, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. It wasn't giving. I'm for real. I go to tour and they be like $1,000 to $1,200, and I look at the person who's renting. I be like, are y'all sure? Are you serious? Hole in the wall that you're asking for is $1,200. I don't think so. So yeah, I just started venturing out, and I saw Cary was a good, like a good place. I was like, Cary ain't that bad, I guess. Moved to Cary, and then that's when I found out about the pop up market here, because it's not popular in Fayetteville. The culture is not as popular as saturated as here in Raleigh. So I found a company who do them. I'm like, oh shoot, y'all got a company, and that's all y'all do is pop ups. Me as an outsider looking in, I'm thinking that's easy, and it's really not. They just make it look easy because they have the resources to do so. So when I first got here, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to these pop ups and I'm going to succeed. Wrong. Here in Raleigh, there's a lot of people who do business, and there's a lot of business owners.
Mm-hmm.
So the wall that I hit was, um, it was a waiting list. I had no idea that these pop up folks had waiting lists. I'm like, wow, y'all have so much business that you can't even consume it all. That is phenomenal, fantastic. I want to be just like you when I grow up.
Right.
So I took their instead of trying to get in, like watching the club while you're trying to get in, I started to be a customer. For real, I joined their mailing list. I so I went to their events on the weekends they had at Raleigh. So I took notes. They had singers. They had they had local. What their thing is that they support local people. So they do like live singers, live whoever want to do talent. They did that. They had like guitarists and things like that. They had a lot of people who was doing pop ups, or people who were doing vendors. And I was like, all right, you got 30 vendors. You got all these people times 65, how many, whatever the rate was. And I said, dang, they made XYZ dollars today sitting on their ass. I need to do that. Yeah, because even though I waited, but I don't want to wait. I could not wait. So in order for me to even inhale what they do, I decided to just join them. So I'm telling you, I went to the events. I just wrote notes on keeping an eye out on what they do so that I can do it too. So I said, all right, I can't wait for y'all. But when I did do the pop, I only did one pop up with the company. And when I did do the pop up, I actually sold like 2 items, and I wanted to cry. Like I really, really, really wanted to cry because of what actually happened. And I said, God, what happened? What happened today? I'm usually doing well, but I hate to bring race into it. This city is not for us. This city is for them. So when it came down to products and things that they like, no, they're going down. They're getting their desserts from Shay Shay, Fufu, and Poo Poo down the road, and not from Amber Mitchell. I said, okay, I have to make a name for myself, but how do I do it? How do I get people to buy stuff from me who do not know me? So this is a brand new market, whole new people, $1 million walking around every single day on the streets of Raleigh. I said, okay, how do I get inside of their pockets? What do I need to do? So I created my own market. So I said, all right, we're going to make a market, and we're going to not niche it where it's for black people or it's for white. It's for everybody, because all of it's green right now. I don't care if
Mhm.
you're what you are. If you make stuff, you're with me. So I made this company called Makers United, because we are all makers coming together to do what we need to do, which is sell stuff. So I did more market research. So I went to more markets, more people who are doing what they do. So I found about three other people who do markets in this area. I'm like, dang, y'all can afford to do that? Because when other people are doing the same thing, it's like, well, how are you making money? It's because it's a demand. People love homemade stuff here. So I said, all right, good. I found more people who do that. I went to their markets. I think I participated like 2 times, but it still wasn't good because it's like people really are scared to buy desserts. I said, all right, I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna find a way. So I found a market that does really well with what I sell, and it was another black girl, and so I started doing her markets, and it was in Durham. So I was doing stuff in Raleigh, but I haven't really hit the market in Durham yet. So I went out to Durham, and that was the most money I've ever made in a pop up. I said, all right, I gotta do it again. I gotta do it again. And then so I said, all right, what's the number to this park? So I called them up. I said, hey, I want to do a market. And I sound so confident over the phone. When we met in person, she thought I had a whole company. I said, no, ma'am, it's me. It's me. I'm it. I am the company. So I did my very first pop up within like 4 weeks or 3 weeks within the time frame of making the website, making the logo, and then I kept all the cards of all the people that I've ever met at the pop ups. So when I was going to their pop ups, I was getting cards from them. So I had like over 100 people's information. I was shooting my shot to everybody in there. So for my first pop up, I had like 30 vendors.
Okay.
30 vendors at $65. I said, I am successful. This is it. I have reached the top.
Yep.
But I only reached the surface. So say for instance, when I would go to other people's pop-ups, I would take their DJ's name. I would take all the people who wrote stuff in the information. So when it was time to roll out, I had an army. So when I had got my DJ, he was actually a kid, like 17, 18. I didn't know he was young. Because I was asking many other DJs how much they was giving me a quota like $1,200. I said for a day. I said, you eating my profit. So I wasn't about to have this joint without a DJ. So I found the kid. I didn't even. I'm telling you, like through my list, this was a whole child, and he was asking for a really good amount. I said, "Oh, you affordable? Let's go." So I did my first pop up, and it was successful with the vendors, but I still wanted more people to come. So the way that it worked out is that the park in Durham is around neighborhoods. So that area, because Durham it was for brown people until they came and gentrified it and thought Durham was cool and cheap. They built more apartments, and those apartments are no longer affordable because we don't live there. But when people hear the music, they come downstairs, and that's what they live for that. So that's where I got my people from, because I don't know anyone and I don't know how to market just yet. But so my best bet was to have a pop-up where people lived, and that worked out a whole lot. So I really didn't have a lot of people, but it was still somebody there. And me being so kind-hearted, I want my vendors to actually make money there, and I got really good positive feedback. But some vendors didn't do well because I'm like, y'all selling vintage clothes, and that's it. Yeah, y'all ain't selling nothing else.
Yeah.
Right, but in my heart, I still want people to do well, others. So therefore, that's why I met you. My goal was to help businesses help themselves. So I successfully did that, and then I had another one. So I was trying to book again with Durham, and Durham, somebody came and bought like the whole weekends until the fall. So I'm having an issue right now trying to get a venue space because somebody bought up the park until it was cold. So
Oh,
I don't,
wow.
right. So I don't even have a venue right now, but I still work on that later because it's summertime and it's hot as hell. And I think I want to take another break over the summertime. Then give myself some time until, until winter comes to get that market back up, get the market again. So we had our second market at this place called Durham Bottling Company, and that was phenomenal. It was inside. It actually rained because I booked it for my venue was supposed to be outside, and that's what my contract was signed for. And then it started to rain. It was like, "Hi, we're just gonna go ahead and put your vendors inside." I said, "Oh yes, good." So it actually became really, really intimate. People were they were so fond of the artists that were there, but I haven't yet got anyone to like sing or rap, and I'm starting to think that people don't want to do that. I'm like, y'all are big celebrities on the internet. Why don't y'all want to do this in person? But right, but the DJ, he rocked it out anyway. But it didn't make me miss a live singing. But people were really intrigued with the closeness and with the artists doing their live work. I said I didn't plan this, but it happened. So that was my second event, and it did really well again. So I'm trying to get that place going, but I'm still doing market research on how to make myself successful and other people as well. Because I went to what I said I wanted to do at Durham Bottling Company. So Durham Bottling is just a building that has shared office spaces, and on sometimes on the weekends they just rent out the space for vendors to do pop-ups and stuff. But I still want everyone. It's like trying to have that connection where people come and flock to your event. That's the thing that I'm having an issue with right now. But it's not a problem. But it's like I still want people to show up to my event. And the idea that I had was a day party, charge people, day party, do something, have a headliner. And so before I did that, before I even rolled out the idea, I actually went to a party like that. So I went to Greensboro. So there was this company called, I don't know, like Girls Rock or something Flower Girl. And I found them on Instagram. I said, "Oh, they're doing music and vendors. Let me see how that works out for me." I'll go to Greensboro. If y'all know what Greensboro looks like or what type of Greensboro is, it's a hood. The whole city to me is hood. I haven't been to no pop up yet where it's been phenomenal, fantastic, all these good things. But I went to Hood City, Greensboro. I went down there, did the pop. I went
Hopefully
down there.
nobody from Greensboro is watching right now.
No, if they get offended, they lying. They lying. So I went to Greensboro, did my thing, and I was not successful. I'm like, wait a minute, what's wrong with me? But coming to find out, the people were there for the music. They were there for the experience. They were not there to shop. So I said, all right, here we go again. I'm gonna start niching down again, especially with the market because I feel like that's more expensive. Is spending other people's money is expensive. You always want to serve what you're telling your people that you're going to do. And just like you said, you laughing at TikTok. I just saw some girl get drugged out about lying about a pop up because she was taking the money and didn't do the event. And I said,
Mm.
Lord, don't I don't want to be that person. I don't want to get dragged by a random vendee on TikTok. Don't let that be me, love. Don't let that be me. So I decided I want to be successful. And if being successful means studying a little bit more, taking a little bit time off and actually doing the research, I'll do that. I'll do that than wasting other people's time, money, and energy because I'm ready to fight. When I don't make money, I'm ready to fight whoever. I'll be like, who event is this? For real.
Understood. Okay. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, you took us through two journeys today. We
Oh
found out
yeah.
how Berry Chic came to be, also how Makers United came to be. I
Right.
feel like as far as your Makers United journey, what I took away was market research, market
Oh
research,
yeah.
market research, and trial and error. A lot of
Oh
times,
yeah.
so again, mentioning where it all began, or where you and I connected, Black Queen City.
Mm-hmm.
My business partner Tatiana, we were just talking about on our Tati Tuesday. So we go live on Instagram um, every Tuesday evening, and we were
Mm-hmm.
just talking about shoot, I lost my train of thought.
No way.
It was something about trial and error I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, trial and error. Like a lot of somebody asked us what advice like would we give to somebody who was thinking of starting something, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's like a general consensus amongst all entrepreneurs that I know or have ever interviewed. And
Mm-hmm.
you certainly echoed it today and everything you share, which is pretty much you could have everything planned to a T. I mean, down to this podcast, when we first started, I said, look, I don't even really have an outline like that for real,
Oh
because
yeah.
it never goes according to plan. And once you get used to that, then
Oh
once you
yeah.
just going with the flow, everything else literally just falls into place. You'll lose your hair trying to get stressed out about, oh, this needed to happen at this time and this needed to happen at this time. It's not.
Yep.
You can write it down in the most write it down as many times as you want, type it out, put it in the planner, put it on a project management tool. It's not gonna go like that. So go with the flow, market research if you want to minimize your risk, but
Yes, please.
scared money don't make money. So the only way that you're going to be successful if you just jump out there and understand
Mm-hmm.
that there's going to be some variables, obstacles, trial and error, baby. Just ride the wave, go with
Oh
the flow.
yeah. Oh yeah,
But I
for sure.
appreciate your time today. So we want to make sure that people know. Let me switch my banners again here. We want to make sure that people know where to find you. So y'all see, we have her website going across the screen right here. So that's www.berrychicnc.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to learn more, go ahead and tell them where they can find you on your socials.
Oh yeah. So on Instagram it is Berry Chic underscore NC. And you can find me on Facebook as Berry Chic NC without the underscore. And that's where I am.
Alrighty, and for me, again, I'm Top Goals, your fave corporatepreneur. You know, I'm always bringing you that motivational and that entrepreneurship content. You can catch me at www.freegoals.com. You can follow me everywhere at tot_goals. That's literally everywhere, even on TikTok. Because I will
Mm-hmm.
say I was one of the ones who was like, I'm not getting on TikTok. And now I'm crying because I didn't, it's oversaturated and I didn't.
Oh, you know what? You're not oversaturated because I just started TikTok last year just for comedy. And then I
Okay.
actually started pushing towards business.
Okay.
And folks are actually eating it up.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not oversaturated yet. Girl, just go ahead and throw yourself out there. Just go ahead
Not
and do it.
yet. I think
Not yet.
what I think I'm meaning is if I had jumped on sooner, I probably would be viral by now. And I will say consistency is key, and I know some of y'all already follow me on TikTok, and I have like a mixture of content on there. So
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't post enough. Content is king.
Oh
Again, that's
yeah.
another way you can put it in your pocket. So but yeah, follow me on TikTok anyways. I'm gonna start posting more, I promise,
Oh
guys. So
yeah, for sure.
don't get on me too bad. So and per usual, I want to remind all of my listeners, audience out there, that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And I hope y'all have a great 24 on the gang. And I'm closing it out. Thank y'all for tapping in.
Oh
Bye.
yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
FREEGOALZ.com. Somewhere in a
Where you at? Drop a pin, send the addy. Yeah, I'm somewhere in the bag. Okay. They like, hey, where you at? Where you at? Drop a pin, send the addy. Addy, yeah, I'm somewhere in a bag. Okay,